Hello, it's Erica here from Me to You Paper Crafts. I have a fun fold for you today. I have been away from doing fun folds since just before Christmas, and the reason was twofold: a little busy for the holidays, but the reason I didn't do any in January was because I came down with a horrendous cold and the cough was unbelievable. It lasted a good 6 weeks, and I'm much better now, but I hope to not cough during this video because the cough is still there a little bit. So what I wanted to show you was this fun step card. It's a fun fold where we're going to do some scoring and some cutting on one length of cardstock. I made this as a Valentine's card, of course, because Valentine's is just around the corner, and I've been really enjoying the Valentine's suite of products from our new mini catalog. Excuse me. This is what they look like. They're in our mini catalog on pages 8 and 9. So it was a whole suite of products, from the stamp set to a couple of punches that you could purchase, some ribbon, some embellishment, some heart doilies, and some foil tins. And I did buy these foil tins because, excuse me, I plan on making some chocolate cupcakes for Valentine's Day. And I've also been making a lot of other treat packages as well as cards, so if you stay tuned till the end of the video, I will show you those projects. So let's get started. Now, of course, any fun fold, no matter what I show you and whatever stamp sets and papers I use, you can adapt this to any other stamp set and excuse me, DSP. So sorry, I had to take a bit of sip of coffee there. Once you have all of the measurements and the scoring and cutting that you have to do, you can incorporate this for anything. So what we're going to start with is a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11. So this is a piece of our thick Whisper White. I've already pre-cut the pieces of DSP that I'm going to use on this paper. And the lovely thing about this suite was that it came with DSP where you could actually punch out the hearts. So there were these really pretty hearts and these flirty flamingo, and then there was a real red hearts that you could punch out from the paper. So that's kind of a fun thing about our designer series papers, is often they coordinate them with either our framelits or punches. Excuse me. Okay. We're also going to do a little bit of embossing on here. So let's get started. I want to first show you the actual cutting and the folding. Now, I'm not going to provide any measurements as I go along. I just want to avoid that much talking because of this stupid cough, but I will post them on my blog for you. So for the cutting and the scoring, you're going to take your card base and you're going to position it on the short side at the top of your scoreboard, and you're going to line it up at this 1-inch mark over here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to you're going to cut. Yeah, there's scoring and cutting, so let's get those straight. You're going to be cutting from the 1-inch mark down to the 6.5-inch mark. So you have a ruler over here on the right hand side. So you're going to position your cutting blade at the 1-inch mark. Now I have to get my head over here so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to position this at the 1-inch mark, and I'm going to cut down to 6.5. 6.5. Okay. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing. Line it up at the 1-inch mark. Because I'm already at the 6.5, I'll just stay there, and then I'll just go up to the 1-inch mark this time. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do some scoring. So you're going to rotate your cardstock on the long side. Make sure that the non-cut side is to the right. You see how I've got cut lines here and there's no cut lines over here. So this has to be on the right hand side. You're going to line this up at the 1-inch mark over here. Now what you're doing is you're going to be doing some scoring. So make sure you have your scoring blade in position, and you're going to be making score lines just down to this cut line here. Okay, so this is at 1 inch again. So position at 1 inch on the left, and then you're going to score down to 1 inch. Then you're going to move it over to 2 inches, and you're going to do the same thing, just score down to that cut line, so it's to the 1 inch mark on your ruler. And then you're going to move over to 6.5. So I've pulled my arm out, so it's 6.5, and the same thing. Just score down to that 1 inch mark. Okay? Now you're going to flip it over, and you're going to do the exact same thing. So the first thing is to line up at the 1 inch mark, score down to 1 inch, to that cut line. Move it over to 2 inches. Same thing, and then move it over to 6.5 and score down to 1 inch. Okay, now the last thing you need to do is to make a score line on this center panel in here. So you're going to line this up at 5.5. This becomes the center fold for your card, and now you're going to take your score blade down to the 1 inch, okay, and you're just going to score in the middle. So this works out to be about 3.25, between 1 and 3.25. So you're just going to score this center bit here. Okay, and now you've done all of your scoring on your card. Now let's put this away. Now for the folding. I always have to take out my original to see. So this center panel is going to lift up here. And then this panel is going to lift up at the bottom like that. And then this one is going to go down. So you're creating a step here. I hope you can see that. I'm creating a step. Try not to fold the center panel. So you're folding this, then you're folding these up like that, and then you've got your center at the back there. So what I'm going to do is take my bone folder and just reinforce those marks, just burnish them a little. Like that. All right, so that's formed your step card. Okay, now it's time to decorate. So I have these center strips here that I'm going to put on the center. I'm going to pull out my silicone mat that I use when I'm using my tape runner, and I want this shiny side out. So sorry, my tape runner was here just a second ago. There it is. And so I'm going to tape this on this center panel. Like so. And we'll do the other side. Am I still in camera? Yes, I am. I have to always check that. All right, those are our two side panels. Now I can put this piece on the center panel here. Stampin' Up's two-sided paper, sometimes it's really difficult to decide which side do you want, because this is a really pretty pattern with these embossed or gold foil, or not gold, sorry, pink foiled hearts, but I'm going to be putting some other hearts on the front. So there's lots of possibilities with our papers. Try and get that on there as straight as I can. There we go. Okay, so down at the bottom, now when I give you the instructions, I'm going to give you instructions so that you can choose to have DSP, but it can also be layered on pieces of cardstock so that you can get a double layering look. But for this one, I decided just to go with the single layer. So for this bottom one, I'm going to emboss some hearts like I did on this card, because my greeting has the Happy Valentine's Day up here, so I don't need another greeting at the bottom, but you could do a greeting here and then just a design on here. Alright, so now I need to get out my stamping or embossing buddy to get rid of any finger marks or oils or static on there, and pull out my Versamark, and I've got two stamps here. So this is the stamp. I'm using both Valentine's stamp sets. This Meant to Be stamp set is in the annual catalog. So it came out in our occasions catalog last spring, and then they carried it over into the annual catalog. So this is still available if you really love Valentine's. And then this year's stamp set is called Heartfelt, and it's this one here. And this is the one where the matching paper and the two punches come into play. You've got a simple heart, and then you've got a scalloped heart punch. So it looks like this, see? Scalloped edges. So you can do layering, which is great. So I've got my embossing buddy done. So here are the two little hearts I'm going to use. I'm going to do these in Versamark. And I'm just going to do a random pattern on here. Now, with Versamark, you should see a bit of a shadow effect, so you should be able to see where you're stamping. And then I'm going to do some of these small, tiny, solid hearts on here. Like that. Cover up my Versamark. Now I like to use a pair of tweezers to hold my cardstock so I don't burn my fingers. Some people use a bit of a clipboard. And let me get my heat tool ready, and here's my embossing powder. And I'll grab a spoon. The nice thing about Versamark is it stays wet for quite a while, so you don't have to feel rushed. So let's do this side. Flick off excess. And then what I like to do is take a look at it and see if there's any additional white embossing powder on here, and then I use a little brush to brush that off. So it's looking pretty good right now, so I don't have to worry. Let's cover up the embossing powder before I have an accident and it goes all over the floor. And I have hardwood floors, so they get in the cracks. Not good. My husband has a conniption fit if I do that. Alright, so I'm going to hold it on with my little tweezers. I like to let my heat gun heat up a little bit, and then I'm going to start embossing. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but I was tilting it so that I could see the shine, to see that I've got all the powder heated up. Okay, so there's our little strip done, and I'm going to wait for that to dry or to cool down a little bit before I put glue on the back. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is to stamp my Valentine. So I'm going to pull out a piece of scrap. To my right of my desk, I have my top drawer over here, and it is filled with scrap paper because I don't like to waste anything. So let me pull down my real red. I didn't have that out earlier. Let me pull down my real red cardstock here. And I'm going to stamp my heart. Now remember, when you're using punches, I always like to stamp close to the bottom of the cardstock so I know that my punch will fit in there. Now these are photopolymer stamps, and typically when you have a more of a solid image, it's really good to use your foam mat, or I find that the silicone mat works really well for giving yourself a bit of a soft surface. And now I can grab my punch, and let's punch this heart out. Try and get an even border all the way around. There we go. Now I've already pre-punched some of these hearts I was showing you earlier. So I think, yeah, I don't think the pink on the pink works well. This color is Flirty Flamingo, by the way. So let's do a red heart on the back. Yeah, we'll put a gold foil red heart on the back, and then I have this other fancy heart which I really like, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to cut that out of a piece of plain real red cardstock. Here we go. So let's punch out the scalloped heart with just the real red cardstock. Okay, so let's put this on the back of that one, like that, and then we have this one like that with some gold foil. So I'm going to just put tape runner to tape these down on here. Like that. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals. Now when you punch things out, there is definitely a right and a wrong side. It's just the way it cuts it. One side is a little bit more rounded, the edges, so you want to watch for that. There we go. And then let me pull out some dimensionals. I feel kind of out of practice doing videos. If you don't do them often enough, you feel all awkward and the words don't come out right. So I apologize for that. I'm going to be doing these fun folds again every Friday. This is my first one in a while. So there you go. Let's put that. Now I can overlap that a little bit. You know what? Let's put on our bottom strip before we put that last heart on. I just love these little hearts. Aren't they cute? They look good embossed. This is cut exactly the same width as the cardstock. The card. Okay, put that on. And now let's take our other heart, and maybe I'll have it overlap a little bit on the bottom. I think that's kind of cute. Let's do that. Okay, so there you go. There is your step card. Isn't that cute? Now, make sure you score these back folds really well so that it stands up better. Where's my bone folder? Give those a good burnish to stand it up. Isn't that cute? Now, in my directions, I will give you the measurements to layer a piece of cardstock in here as well as a piece of Whisper White on top so that you can put a greeting on the inside. So that will be included in my measurements. So go and make one, and if you don't want to do a Valentine's card, then pick another stamp set and do something different, and let me know how it goes. Please post a comment in my blog. Thumbs up for my video if you don't mind, and if you'd like to see future videos from me, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Oh gosh, I almost forgot. I was going to show you some other projects I've been doing, so hang on a sec. Okay, wait till you see these. I've been really busy. I love Valentine's Day. Okay, so first I want to show you a couple of, excuse me, a couple of these projects which I made at a Stampin' Up! Event here in Victoria. A whole bunch of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators get to go to these events. We have them a couple of times a year, one in Victoria and one up in Nanaimo. So this was a make and take from one of the Victoria one. Isn't that cute? And there's some little chocolates inside, so it's kind of like a little envelope with this belly band on here. And oh, these are doilies that come in that suite too. You can get some doilies. They're very, very sweet. So that was one make and take. What was another make and take? Oh, I don't have it here. Okay, here's one that I made. This has a belly band, and it's a little box with some Ghirardelli treats inside. I love Ghirardelli chocolate, especially the peppermint bark. So that's one that I made. That's a very cute little project. Again, using the hearts and the, and the DSP, sorry. This one I made for a, this was my prototype for a swap that I was doing for another meeting that we had. This again is another belly band. I really like belly band treats. So you pull this off. It's a little bit awkward. Come on, there you go. And then I've got this little box, and guess what? More Ghirardelli treats. So that's a cute little project too. I'll put that together later. Okay. Then I made a demonstrator called Sally Stamper. She showed how to use these dies from one of our new sets. These beautiful stitched scalloped dies. And so she showed how to make this cute little box. So I made that up last night. And I put some dimensionals under here so that the hearts would pop up. And then this one I made, I can't remember who did this one, but this is like a little mailbox. And my magnet glue dot has come off. There's a lot of pressure on this cardstock, so my magnet glue dot didn't stick very well, so I'll have to fix that. But anyway, it goes like that. This is for lots of treats. I mean, look how big that box is. I don't have anything in there yet, but that's another cute little project. The suite also has these cute little embellishments. What else did I make? Oh, this is another really cute one. So this is a cute little box. This has this crossover. This was also another demonstrator who made this little box. So I got this off YouTube. And then you open up the ribbon in there, and there's some treats inside with, I had some of this, I don't know what this is called, stuffing in there. Is that it? Oh, and then I made this one. This was another little prototype I made. And I used the little magnets. So there's another little box. So as you can see, I've been having lots of fun. And, oh, I can show you some cards. Here you go. Here's some more. So these were all of my design. I made this one. I embossed a piece of Whisper White and then cut it in half. Oh no, I cut it first and then embossed it. That's important. Cut it first and embossed it. And then I made this one. Then I made this one. This was came out of having just some random pieces that I was making lots of cards, and I had these random pieces left over on my desk, you know, items that may have not worked on another project. So then I just kind of threw them all together, and I don't know, I kind of think it turned out pretty good. This was posted on my blog, my From Me to You Paper Crafts blog. This is a gatefold card with a belly band. And then these are cards I got from Swaps. So these are using that new Ladybug set that you have to earn, but it is just so cute. And here's another one. This has little hearts that hang down, little box card. And then this one I made, this was my design, and I made this for a swap as well. So you see, I've been really busy with Valentine's stuff. I love Valentine's. And remember that the heart sets, anything that's Valentine's, other than saying Happy Valentine's Day, can be used for weddings, it could be used for babies, it could be used for birthdays, it could be used for anniversaries. So it's not just for the month of February. So if you'd like to still order these products, they're still available in my online store. And yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate it. Bye for now.